You too. What's good? Welcome to another episode of New York Prison Talks. Today I wanted to talk on about the COs, correctional officers in prison. Now, when you first go to prison, you either coming from like the island or you coming from a county jail. And it's a big difference from when you come into prison and coming from the jail, from the county jail, or coming from the Rikers Island. And when I say this, because the difference between those type of COs is up top in prison, them COs could put hands on you any given moment. You know, in the county jails and the island, they can't really put hands on you like that. Only for force. Up top, they put hands on you for any. They can just smack you for any little thing. You got a lot of inmates that don't jack that. You got some inmates that will fight them back. They gonna lose at the end, but they'll fight back. They'll fight back. They're gonna lose because it's gonna be like probably like 15, 20 officers on them at the end. But you got some inmates, some niggas that don't even care. They will pop right on the CO right back. Cause you got a lot of racist COs in jail. The further you away from the city, New York City, it feel like it's just the worst. Because I done been jails close to the city, and I done been to jails by Canada. And I done been in jails kind of out west. And the prisons that I was in, one of the worst racist prisons that I was in, I'm gonna say it had to be in Clinton. Clinton and Comstock. Now Clinton, I was in Clinton. When I was in my Malone County area, that hub up there, I was in Clinton, Franklin, and Upstate. Out of all three of them jails, Upstate, they had racist COs, but them racist COs respect you because they know that they gonna have to answer to their sergeant and lieutenants because we gonna just keep turning it up on them in the box, in Upstate box. Now, in Franklin and Clinton, it's different stories. See, in Clinton, you got COs that's known for having the handcuffs on you and beating the shit out of you while you got the handcuffs on and pushing you down flights of stairs while you have the handcuffs on. That's what they like to do in Clinton. Because they got stairs in Clinton. I was in Clinton Annex, by the way, not Clinton, Maine. And they like to just do fuck with you with little shit. Because they know that's like Clinton Annex is a max B. And in that max B, it's a sweet max B. It get real. People get shot and stuff. It's a max too, but at the end, it's a lighter max. It's a lower classification than a behind. It's a max. The difference between a max A and max B, it should be the difference with the wall and the fence. A max B has a fence. A max A has a wall. That's how it should be. I know it's several max Bs throughout this state, and I don't know if everyone has a fence. I'm not too sure, but it's supposed to go like that. A max B is less secure than a max A because there's a difference between the wall and the fence. Max B's has a fence, and you got a lot of SEALs that like to use that as advantage because they know that a lot of dudes that's coming from Clinton, Maine, a lot of dudes coming from Clinton, Maine to Clinton Annex, they come from max A to max B, meaning that's a good thing. Their classification done lowered, and you got a lot of dudes that come there and the COs know that they be coming from next door, so they like to fuck with them and try to send them back. They'll talk to you crazy. They'll tell you to drag your fucking ass and they'll call you nigger. They will. You got a few of them that got balls like that. But usually when they say that, it usually be like 5, 6, 7 of them around when they say that. They don't be saying that by themselves. They usually make sure it's a few of them. They got their little gang with them, and then they like to talk crazy. When I first went to Clinton Annex, the CO had the dude just stare at a wall for like, stare at the wall with his head, his forehead on the wall for like the whole time I went to Chow. And I came back upstairs. Chow was like about a good 20 minutes long. And he was already doing that before I went to Chow. He was already have his head on the wall. He looked like a sucker nigga. I would never do some shit like that. It was some stupid ass white boy too. He was on the wall with his head on the wall like this, not moving at all. And just for like that for like a good 30 minutes. It had to be probably longer because I didn't see it all. I know from when I came downstairs from chow and came back up from chow, he was still doing the same shit. So I don't know how long he was doing that. And I know he was tight. He didn't want to catch a ticket. That's probably why he did that shit instead. But I can never be a sucker like that and have them. I never been violated by a CO. Only time I had a little incident with a CO is when I was getting searched on a wall, and he had told, this was in Clinton Annex too, and he had told me, I thought he had said, all right, you're okay to get off the wall from being searched. When you search, you gotta have your hands on the wall and they patting you down and frisking you. And he didn't say that, and I thought he had said that. So you can't get off the wall until they're done searching you and they tell you to get off the wall. Because if you don't, if you just get right off the wall while they searching you, they gonna take that as a threat, like you trying to pop on them or something. And that's kind of what happened. I had just got off the wall a little bit. Just got off the wall a little bit. I had made movement that got his attention. And while he was down searching me, and when I had got off the wall, he had got me in a little quick chokehold, like 2 seconds. And I didn't know what was going on. He put me in a chokehold, and he was like, why the fuck did I tell you? I didn't tell you to get off the fucking wall. Why the fuck is you getting off the fucking wall? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm new. I've probably been in prison probably for like 3 or 4 months. I'm just learning the jail still. Probably not even that. I think I probably was 2 months in the prison. And this is happening to me. I'm 18. I got locked up at 18. And it's like I didn't know what was going on. I'm 18. I'm scared. I didn't know what was going on. So I'm just he got me in like a fake chokehold. It was quick though. He put me in a chokehold because I didn't know. He put me in a chokehold. I'm like, I didn't know. I thought you was He set me back on. I had to go back. Since he was searching me too long, and they ain't like how I got off the wall like that. They deaded me on rec, meaning I had to go back to my dorm and not go to rec. I couldn't go to the yard. I was tight. That ain't never happened again. I never been in another situation with officers again. And that was like my first 3 months of being in prison. I got into like a quick chokehold. I held it down. I had no choice but to hold it down. Because what I'm going to do, pop on him, if I pop on a CO, I'm definitely getting a new charge. I'm definitely going to have a bad bid. I'm going to have to max out. I already got 8 years to do. If I get a new charge, I'm going to do that 8 years plus whatever they're going to give me after that. And I don't know how much, because if I pop on him, I can pop on another CO after. I get all these type of assault charges and shit for popping on COs, and they going to write it all down. And they might lie about it. That's what they like to do. They lie about it in the disciplinary reports. They like to lie about it and add more shit to it. And that's the shit you got to be facing throughout your bed if you're going to have problems with police. You don't have to have problems with police. You could avoid them niggas man easily. You keep a mutual relationship. You nod your head, say hi and bye, whatever. You say what's good. If it's the same CO that works in your housing unit every day, you don't really want to violate him and get him mad, because you're gonna be seeing him every single day, because you gotta worry about every time you leave your cell or you leave your dorm. You don't know if he might try to put a weapon in your cube or put a weapon in your cell, and you don't want none of those problems. Or he could have an inmate that he probably fuck with that's probably a little rat or something, one of his little rats, try to go in your cell or cube and line you up. You don't want none of that happen, because next thing you know, you going to have a cell search, and they finding all type of shit that you didn't even know was in your cell, and it's in your cell, and now you getting a new charge for that. That's no good. You got different type of COs, just like inmates. You got good ones, you got bad ones. You got gay ones too. You got female gay ones, you got females that be trying to fuck you and shit like that. It's all type of females and guys and COs and type of shit in prison. You got, the closer you get down to the city, the more blacker it is. It's more black and colored COs. The more you go up top to the mountains, the more whiter it is. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The more whiter it is. You in the mountains and nothing but white COs. You go down there to Sing Sing, Fishkill, anywhere close to the city, I guarantee you it's gonna be mad black and Spanish police compared to up top where it's just nothing but white COs, and a few of them that might be black, but they call themselves French Canadian. That's what you got, a whole bunch of them COs up there by Canada and shit up in Malone County that want to jack that they not black, they French Canadian. That's what they'll tell you. They will tell you they are not black. They are French Canadian, darker than me. Darker than me, talking about they are French Canadian and they jack the white people and they don't care about no inmate at all. They don't care about you at all. I'm not saying that the COs close to the city care about you too, because you got some ones down there that be violating, that will violate you too. Because when it comes down to the city, they know that everybody basically is from the city that's close by them jails. So if you try to do any little thing to fuck with the COs, or you do any little thing in the jail, you could easily get sent out of those jails because they don't want you being close to home. They like to see you far away as possible. So if you try to fuck up in the jail that you're close to home by and you close to your home area, they'll send you right back up top to the mountains and shit, send you far away. That happened to me before. I went to the box from Otisville and they sent me back up top, and then I had to go. I was in upstate for a little minute, then I was in 5 Points, then I was in Colstown, and then I had to start over in Max again. I was in Max's, then I dropped down to medium, and I ended off my bid off in Max's. I got released from Elmira. Last year, and it's like they will fuck with you. You got every jail is different type of polices though. The worst I see was Comstock and Clinton. They was racist as fuck. They don't care. They are racist as fuck. They'll make sure they'll keep violating your rec, meaning they'll keep slowing your rec time down, making sure your rec is just taking wild long for you to get out your cell. You supposed to get out your cell for rec at 6:45. You not getting out to 7:50, almost 8 o'clock, almost till they call the next go back run, the early go back run. You coming out your cell and there's about to be an early go back run in 5 minutes. That shit be violent. They like that. Franklin, they like to do that faggot ass shit too. They like to violate your rec and jerk your rec. And they like to just talk crazy to you. That's one thing I could say. They like to talk crazy and try to make you the pop on them. They like to instigate shit. They'll talk crazy. Drag your fucking ass. Who the fuck is you talking to? And they like to use the little sticks and shit. It's a little threatening shit to scare him. And them shit don't bother. Don't be scared of none of that shit. All that shit's like scared tactics. You ain't get, once you know the system, you know how to play it all well. I did 7 years of that shit with no problems. With no problems on the inmate side and no problems on the CO side. I was valid my whole bid, and that's one thing I'm proud to say. I was Gucci my whole bid. Never really had. I've had about 5 fights my whole bid, but that was like in the beginning of my bid, and that was that. Because once you learn the system, it shouldn't be no problems because you know your path. Like I always say, if you somebody that like the gangbang, you gonna always be gangbanging. If you somebody that like to fight, you always gonna be fighting. If you somebody that like to work out, you're gonna be somebody that like to work out. Whatever you've been doing in jail, to stick to that path, but try to make it positive because that's what's gonna get you home the fastest. Because you got COs in there that will try to bring you down and try to fuck your bid up and make you get a new charge or make you have to max out because you didn't complete the programs because they wanted to fuck with you and put you back in ART because you try to violate one of them or you try to fight somebody, some shit. You have to take another program over and they'll make sure that happen. Or when it comes to you trying to get your board or something, it just be a whole bunch of fuckboy shit that they could do on the low that you won't even think about, that the ties that they could have, because they could have ties with somebody that's a motherfucking I forget what you call them shits. It's been a minute, but the higher up people, the deputies, they could probably have ties with one of the deps and send the dep of security or somebody that could be at your merit board or at your fucking your conditional release board, one of those boards. I forget what the board's called that I had, and they could probably try to fuck with your shit. I'm not saying to become cool with COs, but just know who you could talk to in a way where it just was good and know who you not to fuck with. This is one thing I'm gonna say about the COs. The ones that are dickheads, those are the best ones. Why? Because you know what it's hitting for. You know that he's a dickhead and you know he's going to play by the book. You know that if you fuck up, you know the consequences. Now, when you got a CO that's cool and then he play cool and then when a situation happens, he going to be straight book after that, those are the ones you got to watch. because you don't know what he could be, his mindset is. At least with a dickhead CO, you know that they're all about being a dickhead. They all about trying to get you, all about trying to line you, all about straight being, they all about going by the code. They all in the books. They all go by the book. You know what it is. When you got a relaxed CO that want to play cool, but at the end of the day, he's still working as a CO, those are the ones you got to watch. Because those are the sneaky ones that you fuck with, or something might happen, and then last thing you know, you get in a drug test, you get in a urinalysis test, or you get in a fucking cell search or some shit, or for that CO, or for something you probably could have told him by mistake, and you thought he was cool, and then it wasn't like that at all. He was lining you up on the low, or he just didn't like you on the low, or he just going by the book because he's a CO. I'd rather have a dickhead CO than a good CO. Like I'd rather have a dickhead PO than a fucking relaxed PO. I got a dickhead PO right now, but that's a good thing because I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to follow her rules because she tells me, she makes sure every time I end her phone call, we on the same page. She makes sure that we be on the same page by the time I hang up, and I respect that because ain't nothing gonna be left out. She gonna tell me everything on her end on a dickhead way, and I'm gonna report everything that I'm supposed to tell her. Same thing with the COs, just gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. You got a lot of gay COs in jail too. You got a lot of gay COs that act like they're not gay, but they be gay. Cause a lot of them gay ass COs be wanting to see your dick when it come to fucking searches and shit. You know who the gay ones be. Because you got the ones that be trying to tell you to lift your balls up and then lift your dick up after that. And then they just want to be posing and shit. Cause not every CO don't be fucking wanting to see your dick. And that's a fact. You got COs that just be like, okay, just peel your pants down real quick, pull them back up. You got some COs be like, just take your shirts off, okay, you don't gotta pick your pants off, get dressed. You got all type of COs in there, but you got some COs that really want to be seeing everything. It usually be one of the new ones, the newer ones that gotta be on their job because they don't know and they gotta play it by the book. And you got some old ones that been 20, 30 plus years in COs as working as COs is gay on the low and be wanting to be looking at your body and shit. And I know that be happening. I know that be happening because it's all different type of COs that some COs that care about seeing if you have contraband on you, and some COs don't care if you have a contraband on you. It's a lot of that. It be a lot of that. You gotta watch them COs. I never have been in a situation where the CO tried to sexually do anything to me. Not at all. Not even on the inmate. Nobody has ever done anything sexual to me. I never been sexually harassed. None of that. Sexually assaulted. None of that. But you got COs that I guess will try an inmate. They probably would try. I feel like it could happen. I never seen it happen. I never had anybody tell me that. But I could see how some searches go with COs, how they be so into the search. You got some COs though that be into the search literally to see if you got weapons or drugs on you, because that's a fact. I know some COs that really be on that shit, but you got some COs that want to just be looking at your body for no reason, and you don't say nothing to them type of COs. You go about the day, you let it be. It is what it is. Long as he not touching you, none of that. Just go about your day, because you can't do nothing about it at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, he has to search you, body search you, and strip search you. If you coming off the visiting floor or something, you got to get strip searched. That is the rule. So you can't really complain about it, but you just got to know who what COB, what CO. There's a lot of COs in jail. It's more whites up top in the mountains, and it's more black and Spanish towards the city. It's dickhead COs towards the city too. It's dickhead COs in the mountains. It's racist COs by the city too. It's racist everywhere. This world is racist. That's one thing I'm gonna say. This world is racist, and you just gotta know what COs you could vibe with and not vibe with. Because if you try to talk crazy to your CO, you can have a bad day, because he'll keep fucking with you and making sure he'll tell his other buddies, his other COs, his co-workers to fuck with you too. And that's what you don't want. And then when you got a whole bunch of COs that keep fucking with you, that's gonna be a problem, because they're gonna keep fucking with you and fucking with you and fucking with you. And that gets annoying. The next thing you gotta do, you ain't got no choice but to try to get out the jail on your own, or you ain't got no choice but to report it to somebody that's higher than all of them. You ain't got no choice but to report that shit. Because I seen a lot of dudes get into some situations where they don't know what to do. Every CO kept fucking with them. So they know what they did? They had to call an outside line to get the COs off them. They had to call outside help to get the COs to off them. Call family members. If you have family members that could support you, and you know a CO is messing with you, get them to help you, because that'll help majorly. That'll help majorly. If you got somebody from family support, outside help support that can help you, and you know you're struggling because of COs, get them to help you. That'll back off a lot of things. That'll back off the COs from fucking with you. Because if you got family members complaining to the deputies or lieutenants or somebody that's a part with the jail, and they getting notified that their family member is getting violated, disrespected, or they feel scared because of a CO, and they getting notified about that's gonna be a problem. They gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? And that's gonna, if it gets to Albany, that's a problem. If you got any type of problems and you feel scared, and you have COs violating you, write Albany. Albany's gonna help you. Albany's gonna figure out that situation, because Albany's like the main central base. Albany is gonna hit that jail up and see what's going on. There's gonna be a whole investigation. Then you're gonna have what's they call IG, and then you're gonna have IG special investigation people looking into the situations. Because a lot of COs be trying to violate dudes. You got, there's a few deaths that happen. COs done killed dudes before. COs kill people. That's a fact. COs could kill you. Remember I said they could push you down a flight of stairs. You handcuffed from the back. Imagine you getting pushed down from the flight of stairs. Your neck is, well, you can't do nothing. You could die. It's a possibility of you dying. Or they'll keep beating the shit out of you and hit you the wrong way with them hard ass sticks, and you could just die. Because them sticks is not light. They kind of got some weight on them. If they hit you the wrong way, you be dead. You be dead. You gotta watch out for COs. Just don't violate COs. They got some good ones. You got some. I had a lot of COs that was cool with me, because I'm telling you, I used to work out a lot and my weight was up. You got some COs that worked out too, and they would ask me, and I would talk to them about some workout shit or shit like that. Always keep your conversation to a minimum when you talking to a CO. Always keep your conversation to a minimum, because you could have somebody hating on me, hating on you, and want to label you as a rat because they see you talking to a CO. And that cannot even be the situation. Like I said, I used to talk to some COs about working out. Now basically was it. I didn't really fuck with the COs like that, because I was on some type of time where don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you. And that's what it was. Because after that first situation I had with the CO, I never really tried to get into another situation like that, because I knew the consequences and repercussions. You always got to know the consequences and repercussions. Ever since I got locked up, I always was thought of the second thought things. Always thought about the consequences and repercussions if I fucked up on something. I always thought about that. I wasn't thinking about that before I got locked up, but now I double check everything. And I already know if I try to violate them back or something, more shit can happen. And that's what you don't want. Just stay away from the COs if you about to get to prison. Just learn how the COs work. You got COs that will try to fuck with you because you're new. You might have COs that might try to fuck with you because you might be a fresh face and you don't know, and they want to try to get you and try to just fuck with you and see if they can fuck with you and get you mad and try to get you in the box or something. Don't let that happen. Be one of them, somebody that's smart. You see them trying to fuck with you, just try to get away with it. Ignore it and do what you got to do. Main thing you always got to worry about is you going home, and that's the main goal. That's everybody's main goal in prison. Everybody trying to get home, and you want to have that the sweetest way as possible. So if you want to get home, just leave the COs alone. Leave everybody alone. Just work out. Fuck it. Be like me. Just work the fuck out. I worked out my whole bed with no problems. I was cool with everybody in every jail I've been to. But that's all you got to do if you want to just have a good, sweet bed. Just stay away from the COs and don't bother them.